To bring in our panel tonight. Brit Hume is still with us, Chris Wallace, and Juan Williams. Brit, what'd you think?
Well, for one thing, although he struck some personal notes, this was a political biography. When you think about the stuff he talked about, it was line after line after line about the different things she tried to do politically over this long marriage they've had together. And we didn't get any anecdotes about. We heard that they did laugh, but was there a story in there about them laughing together about anything? And we heard the sweet moment with the birth of their daughter, but then it was on to more policy. It was really kind of a wonkish speech, all in service, as you both pointed out, of the idea that she's not the status quo, that she's the great change agent. And, you know, we may never know how much pure compost there was in that tale, but I must tell you, having followed this man and covered him for all these many years, the guy you saw out there tonight had not lost his fastball. Now, I don't know if he has it every day, but he sure had it tonight, and it was glorious fun to listen to him, to spin that tale, to make. I mean, you think about that. If I read that text, people would be asleep. They'd be dying. Not Bill Clinton, you know. And I've seen him take that point, you know, wag that crooked finger at me more than once since I've known him. But he makes it all work. He is still the big dog.
He did it to Chris Wallace too in that one interview. Yeah. He wagged his finger at you. But wait, before I get to you, I want to ask you, Juan, whether you think he got it done, because Brit raises a good point. The storytelling and the scene setting, as he talked about the 1,100 square foot home that she liked and what the attic looked like, and you can picture a young woman there with a man she's newly in love with, thinking about getting married.
Well, you know, when we were going into this, I said to you, he disappointed me lately in terms of the speech making, and I wondered if it was the vegan diet. And you said, well, he needs a hamburger. Well, I think he must have found a hamburger on the way here tonight, because he was terrific. And I agree with Brit. That was Bill Clinton. He really delivered for Hillary Clinton tonight. And I think the key point that I think people will take away is, last week at the Republican convention, you heard a story about Hillary Clinton. And I've told you a story tonight. The question is, how do you square it? And he said, you can't square it. You can't square it. They have built a cartoon about this woman, and I, her husband, her best friend, who've lived a life that I've just told you about, a love story as you described it, I'm telling you, this is the real story. And if you elected me twice, if you know me, you know that I'm telling you the truth. So this was Bill Clinton putting himself on the line in a very passionate and, I think, convincing way.
Chris, you know, the constant recurring theme of a change maker, not the status quo. Clearly, they look at that threat in an anti-establishment environment as real.
Oh, absolutely. Let me just say, first of all, with all the dissing today of the vegan diet, and you know that was making him weak, as they said in the movie, I'll have what he's having. That was a pretty great speech. He turned this cavernous hall into an intimate room, and he wove the story. I have to say, I thought he went on a little bit long. As he got to about 1978, I thought, we're in 2016. How long is this?
Take a while.
But and here's where I would slightly disagree with Brit, because it seemed to me they were weaving the political and the personal. That's the life that these two people have led. I understood their marriage. I understood her constant desire, as he put it, to make life better, to make change. And both in a political and a personal sense, I thought it was a very powerful speech that undid or tried to undo some of the damage that was done to her last week in Cleveland.